Well, good damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. So, Washington, D.C., as you know, has been taken over by the federal government. Earlier this week, President Trump signed the executive order. Check out the video I did on that. And he basically federalized the Washington, D.C. Police Department. So now, the federal government's authority supersedes that of the city chain of command, like, the commissioner or the chief of police and the mayor and all that. The federal government's over all that. So now the Washington, D.C. Police Department has been absorbed into the federal government, into federal law enforcement. There have been FBI agents and stuff on the street walking beats with the Washington, D.C. Police Department. So, I think before that, you had the mayor of D.C., who is a failure. If she were an organ in the human body, she would be the tonsil or the appendix, something that can be removed and you wouldn't even know. Everything would work just fine, or maybe better, without it. She is absolutely worthless. She is the epitome, the personification of a DEI hire. Unless we have a business that has to do with black women, there is no reason that being a black woman should get you a job. Unless we're hiring for a role in a movie or a commercial or something, it has to be a black woman, then fine. But other than that, your sex and your race is not a qualifier. That doesn't put you over the line. That doesn't give you the job. But as we see, time after time, Cyndi Lauper would be proud. Time after time, we see that placing people in leadership roles simply because of the color of the container that they come in, or which kind of genitals they put inside of them, or in some cases rub together, scissoring, time after time, it fails. Here's another example. You have the chief of police. This is the highest ranking personnel in the police department. How many action movies have you seen where I got the chief breathing down my neck? You got 24 hours to bring him in. I can't keep the chief and the mayor off my ass anymore. Chief executive, chief in an Indian tribe, chief of police. It means they are in charge. It means they are the boss of everyone. So in this case, in Washington, D.C., you have the Mayor Bowser, who sucks, and her chief of police, who is a black woman. I don't know her name. Who cares? But having a woman as a chief of police is ridiculous. Having a female mayor is ridiculous. What are you talking about? A female chief of police? You mean to tell me you can do the job of a male officer that's under your command, a subordinate? Hell no, you couldn't. I just saw a video a couple weeks ago. Some guy took a female cop's gun away from her, and she had it pointed at him. Women should not be in law enforcement. They should not be in combat, and they should not be in leadership roles, i.e. the chief of police or the fucking mayor. So you have the chief of police out there, and someone asked them, well, since the federal government has taken charge of your police department, what is the new chain of command? And I quote, the chief of police says, what does that mean? Roll raggy? What does that mean? Let me tell you something. When you join law enforcement, any militaristic type organization where there's uniforms and a chain of command, the first thing you learn is the chain of command. The chain of command lets you know who's in charge in ascending order. Who's your boss and their boss and their boss and their boss and their boss, all the way up to the top. That is the chain of command. If you follow this chain, the higher you get up it, the more command those people have. What does that mean? And then some people might say, well, Jericho, maybe she meant this. Maybe she was asking about something else. I don't think so. Pretty straightforward question. What's the new chain of command? What does that mean? Right after she said that, the mayor walks up to the mic and basically takes over and starts explaining what that chain of command is. And it's so crazy because you don't know what a chain of command is. when you and the woman standing behind you are at the top of said chain of command. You're the top end of the chain of command. You're one person away from the top of the chain of command, and you don't know what a chain of command is? So what if your doctor walks into the room after you've been waiting too long, and why in the hell do you make an appointment at the doctor's office? You get there on time, you get there early, they take you in the room, and then you're waiting another 20 minutes. Why did I make an appointment? Anyway, what if your doctor comes in the examination room and goes, hey, what's a stethoscope? Huh? You're going to be like, why didn't you learn that on day one? Why didn't you learn that on the first day of medical school, what a stethoscope is? When I was a child in the Sea Cadets, like ROTC, except it's not connected to a school. It's funded privately by donations. So when I was a kid, how old was I when I joined Sea Cadets? I think I was 12, because it starts, I think Navy League is like 11, 12, 13, and then after that you're a Sea Cadet. It's like 14 to 18 of the Sea Cadets. So even when I was in the Navy League, I was a Navy Leaguer at 12 years old. The first thing that one of the first things that they teach you, aside from marching, how to salute and all that stuff, one of the first day things, they're going to teach you the chain of command, because you can't break the chain of command. You can't leapfrog the chain of command. There's a reason that it's there. So you can take care of issues at the lowest level possible. You only go up the chain of command when necessary. So if you have a problem, let's say in this case, because it's dumbass chief of police, let's say a patrol officer has an issue. He's not going to go see the chief. There are too many layers in between that. Your sergeant, your watch commander, lieutenant, captain, all kinds of people. Why did you go up to the chief? You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to break the chain of command and supersede their authority and go over their head. That's not a good thing. But why in the hell is the person that's 2 people away from the top of the chain of command not know what a chain of command is? It's because she's a fucking DEI hire. I'm surprised if she's not responsible for tying her own shoes. This is ridiculous. The only reason there's a black female mayor is because of DEIs, because that's what they want it to look like. They're more concerned with the appearance than the substance. Mayor Bowser of Washington, D.C. is a fucking idiot. Why is she the mayor of the nation's capital? Because they want it to fail and they don't want to hear anything about it. They don't want any criticism. They want it to fail, but they want it without the criticism. It's like, I want to eat cheesecake, but without the calories. That's what they want. They want to continue their mission, their plan, to execute their plan to destroy America, but they don't want any back talk. So if you don't want any back talk, if you don't want any lip from the population, from the masses, then you put somebody in charge of this mess that they can't say anything about. And who's the one group of people that you can't say a damn thing about? Don't even look at them. Treat them like looking directly into the sun. Don't do it. How dare you speak ill or question a black woman? You can't say shit about a black woman because she's a strong, independent. Shut up. So of course you put this person that cannot be questioned in charge of this mess. You ever see one of those videos where it's like, I saw one, man, I couldn't believe this shit. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't have killed the little kid, but I would have gotten rid of him. Like, you got to live somewhere else now. You can't be here, because there's a video of these 2 little boys who got into a bucket of latex paint in the living room. And that shit was all over the TV, the carpet, the couch, the wall, and they're standing there covered head to toe in white paint. You gotta go. Hopefully we can find a family member to send you to, they can keep you in the family. But you can't live here anymore. If you get into a bucket of white paint and you smear it all over everything, including the TV, you are no longer a resident. But they have this mess. They have this mess that they have to make. They have to destroy the city or the state, whatever they put them in charge of. Look down in LA. Another strong black woman. And she has an extra layer of victimhood. She has an extra layer of DEI Kevlar. She's part of the alphabet soup group. She likes puss. So now you really can't question her. That's the golden calf. A black woman and she eats puss? Oh my goodness. Don't even say her name. So this is what they do. This is part of the plan. This is part of their agenda. You get somebody in charge of the destruction that nobody can question. And then not only will you get the destruction that you want, the destruction that you stroke your pink lipstick to every night, but you will get it without any pushback. You will get it with silence. Meet me in the comments. Talk to me, Goose. What do you think about that? Am I tripping? No, Jericho. She meant something else. She was asking about, she's not that dumb. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. I'm out.